Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 2 In Depth. In today's episode, I'm going to be testing out Toughness and to a lesser degree the Flinch mechanic in Black Ops 2, but I'm not doing it alone. Here with me I have ZT and some of his subscribers. I joined in one of his open lobbies. He's going to be standing over here by the stairs and shooting me while I stare at a little blank spot on the wall. I'm going to show his subscribers because they were all in the lobby helping exchange weapons and giving some input and that sort of stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my AN-94 with one particular little dot in the wall. I've got my health at 200%. ZT is going to kill me once without toughness, and then he's going to kill me again when I do have toughness, tack insertion, so that I spawn in the exact same place. We're going to go back in slow motion, and I'm going to compare the shots side by side to show you exactly what toughness does and does not do, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by this. This is something that I can test very easily and show you that there's a clear difference with. You probably didn't see much there, but here's the slow motion with regular on the left and toughness on the right. You can see that the one on the left shakes around a lot more and is darker than the one on the right. And I know that was a bit slow, so I slowed it down about as much as I can with console footage here. You can see the shaking. This one is with the DSR-50 sniper rifle, just one shot to do maximum damage to show you how much you can flinch with and without the toughness perk. And I took this screenshot to show the maximum deflections with and without toughness. All of you should have been able to clearly see that toughness reduces the gun flinch in Black Ops 2, and the gun flinch is the amount that you get knocked off of your target and the distortion on your screen when you're shot. This is to simulate the pain of being shot in real life. I'd say that toughness reduces flinch by about 1/3, maybe 1/2, but it's kind of a question. I would say maybe it's half of the space on the wall that I'm looking at, but it's only about 1/3 in the angle of my gun. Do you want to call it a third? Do you want to call it a half? I'm not entirely sure, but it does significantly reduce the amount of your gun flinch. It also reduces the amount of visual distortions when you're shot. If you didn't notice in those previous tests, the screen on the left without toughness got darker and generally more jellied on the sides, and with toughness it was not as jellied and not as dark, so you get less visual distortions when you're being shot with toughness. And it's in my personal opinion that toughness is the most useful tier 2 perk. The only other tier 2 perk that I do much with is I do scavenger sometimes. Sometimes I do fast hands if the class calls for it, if I'm doing riot shielding or something. The other ones such as cold-blooded and hardwired are much less useful, only in specialty situations. That's why I run toughness on almost all of my classes, and I think that it's an excellent perk. Now we're going to change gears slightly here, and we're going to talk about the flinch mechanic in Black Ops 2, because I'm sure some of you are curious about that. The flinch mechanic, or how much you get bounced around when you're shot, is dependent on two things. Number one, it's dependent on the amount of damage per shot. A high damage weapon such as a sniper rifle or light machine gun will cause more flinch than a low damage weapon such as a pistol or submachine gun, and that's taking into consideration the range and how far apart they are. Obviously a submachine gun at point blank range is going to cause more flinch than a light machine gun from super far away if the damages are comparable. And also angle of impact. Angle of impact changes the direction of the flinch and the amount of the flinch, just kind of depending on where they're standing and what direction they're going to be pushing you. That can be not so bad or extremely annoying. I'm not exactly sure how these are going to be helpful, but do keep that in mind. Silencer doesn't make people flinch less in as much as it does just kind of reduce the range on the guns, which may change the damage. But a lot of people like, oh, you make people flinch less with silencer. Not really. It's just a matter of they're probably going to be doing less damage on average. That was a very brief in-depth, but I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. If you'd like to check out my previous episode, which is a quickscope guide, you can click the box on the left. And if you'd like to check out my next episode, which is going to be my third and hope to God final testing on the grip, because I don't ever want to do this again, but Vandahar sent me some tweets, so I'm going to go back and test it again. That's going to go live in a few days, and as always, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.